We all love long songs. Today we're ranking them. We've got 19 songs that are more than 10 minutes long, and I've ranked them worst to best. By the way, some criteria to fit in this video: you need more than 15 million streams. Anyway, let's get straight to it. The worst one on the list. I've seen the song being ranked the best. This is controversial. I've got The End by The Doors. I don't like it at all. It's weird, it's boring. I don't like it. I'm sure it's got a really deep meaning. That's just not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the best music. I find it very boring, and I just don't like it. So yeah, there you have it. 19th, The End. Now don't click off the video. I know that most people are not going to be happy about that. But, oh no, the next one's also quite controversial. In fact, how am I not meant to be controversial here? They're all, you know, fan favourite songs, more or less. So putting them low down doesn't mean they're bad. Anyway, let's get into it. 18th, we've got In My Time of Dying by Led Zeppelin. Again, it just drags on. It's so boring. Come on, if you're going to make a long song, you need to keep it interesting. I really just think it's quite boring. I've given up on trying to please people now. I'm accepting that this list is going to be controversial, because in 17th, we've got Echoes by Pink Floyd. This has also been ranked the best long song ever by many people. And this one actually does have some really, really cool music in it, and I'm saying that. But this song is 23 minutes long, and I've got better things to do. And there's like a 5, 6, 7 minute period in the middle of the song, which is more or less just silence. And you know what? I've got better things to do than listen to that song for 23 minutes. It's cool. It's great that it exists, but I'm never going to listen to it. And yeah, it's got some really cool music. And I want to know, how many of you actually listen to these songs regularly? I can never see myself sit down and listen to a 20-minute song, even like the 15-minute, 10-minute ones, that's pushing it. But 20 minutes, 25 minutes, I could never sit down and just listen to that. Come on, 15 minutes is pushing it. 20 minutes is way too long for me. Anyway, sorry, that was a bit of a tangent. Oof, yep, we've got another one. In 16th, we've got The Court of the Crimson King. And it's got some cool stuff. It just lacks a climax, in my opinion. It just drags on for 10 minutes, and it lacks a big climax. Because I do like the music in it. It's nice music. I could put it on in the background. Anyway, that was why it's quite low. 15th, we've got Voodoo Child. I always thought it was Voodoo Child, but it's spelled with an E, so I really don't know. You'll have to tell me in the comments what the story of the song is. I literally don't know. It's a 15-minute song by Jimi Hendrix, and it's got some really cool stuff in it. Like, overall, I do like it, but again, I feel like it lacks a big one point of the song. And with a lot of these songs, I found that they lacked a lot of structure, which are kind of the point of these long songs, but it lacked structure with a lot of these, and that's not necessarily a bad thing all the time, but sometimes it just doesn't work. And in my opinion, Voodoo Child is one of them. It's not Voodoo Child, is it? It's Voodoo Child, but I don't know what a child is. I'm gonna Google it. Google's just telling me about the country, okay? I don't really know. You'll have to tell me about Voodoo Child. Anyway, 14th, we've got Pigs, 3 different ones. This is the worst of the 3 long songs on the Animals album, which all 3 are on this list, by the way. We've got Dogs and Sheep coming up. Pigs, in my opinion, wasn't anything that special. It was quite cool in some places, but it was quite boring overall for me. So I've not got much to talk about it, honestly. So we're gonna move on to Rime of the Ancient Mariner by Iron Maiden. I like this one, it's quite cool. We're getting into the songs that I do like. They are good songs, but Rime of the Ancient Mariner for me lacked a big climax. The same story with The Court of the Crimson King. The only reason I put The Court of the Crimson King lower than this is generally I enjoy Iron Maiden and that sort of style of music more than the is it called experimental, I guess you'd call it? Rime of the Ancient Mariner is better, it just lacks the climax, which is why it's quite low. Ooh, we're getting back into the controversies now. In 12th place, we've got Achilles, no, it's Achilles, isn't it? We've got Achilles' Last Stand. And again, this is a fan favourite. Everybody loves the song, and I did love it. It was good, you know, nothing wrong with it. Epic guitar solo, all of that stuff, but overall, it wasn't anything that I particularly, you know, was amazed by, which sounds pretty bad. But I've got nothing much else to say. That's where it is, 12th place, and I'm sorry if that offends you. Just a quick reminder, if you're thinking of a song that hasn't appeared on this list, it's probably because it has less than 15 million streams, and that doesn't even sound like a lot of streams, because it really isn't. Not many people listen to these sort of songs. So anyway, what I was trying to get to was, if I did actually forget a song with more than 15 million streams, comment down below, because it's definitely possible, and more than likely. Anyway, 11th place, just out of the top 10, we've got another one that people love. We've got Child in Time by Deep Purple. And the only reason that this is not higher up is because of its lack of structure. I liked it, but it's just not as good as the ones above. I'm sorry to anybody who loves Deep Purple. I know they've got some amazing fans, and Child in Time is a good song, I'll say that. It's just not as good as the ones coming up. In 10th place we've got Dogs by Pink Floyd, and this might be surprisingly low for some of you, because it is compared to a lot of people's lists. We've got a 17-minute long song here. Dogs is really long. And 10 minutes is long, 15 minutes is one thing, but 17 is even longer. Well, obviously, that's just, you know, common sense. But no, what I'm trying to get to is it drags on. With most of these songs, it gets a bit boring. And like I said with songs before, like The Court of the Crimson King, Echoes, it's got some really, really cool music in it. And I love some of the music in it, but it just drags on a bit. Still an amazing song, 10th place. In 9th, we've got 2112 by Rush. Another really, really long song, 20 minutes here, but I think it's like a mix of tons of different songs. It changes really quickly, you know, you've got slow songs, really quick stuff. I didn't even know Rush did some sort of the stuff they do, you know, it's quite heavy for the time. And overall, it was just really good, I liked it. And it changes so quickly that it doesn't really get boring that much. So it's different to other really long songs like that, which is why this 20-minute song is much higher than Echoes. It changes quickly, keeping you engaged, and yeah, I think it's really good. 8th, we've got the second entry from The Doors. This is When the Music's Over, one that I'd literally never even heard of, and before finding songs for this list. This is on their second album, Strange Days, and I think it's quite cool. It's got that Doors weirdness to it. By that I mean, you know, their style. Not that they're weird. They've got their own style, which was very strange compared to others at the time, but it's a great style. I really like The Doors, by the way, don't get me wrong. And yeah, 8th place is a great place on this list. I really like this song, When the Music's Over. It's really cool. I don't really know what else to say about it, but I do really like this song. By the way, comment down below your favourite song that's over 10 minutes long, because I know people have some epic songs that I'd love to listen to, because obviously I don't know all of them. These are just the ones that I found. 7th place, I've got Shine On You Crazy Diamond, but I've split them up to parts 1 and 5 and parts 6 and 9 like they appear on the album. It's kind of like two separate tracks, I guess. Of course, it's one big 25-minute song, really, but, you know, I do want to split it up. And we've got the 6 to 9 here in 7th place. And of course, this is an epic song. I really like it, obviously. It's just a masterpiece. But I'm kind of speaking for the entirety of Shine On You Crazy Diamond there, and definitely the part 6 to 9 isn't as good as 1 to 5, which is obviously coming up. So we're going to move past this quite quickly. In 6th place, we've got one that isn't usually on the, you know, the classics 10-minute plus songs list, because it's actually The Globalist by Muse. Now, this one isn't even a massive song of theirs. It's literally there because it does have 15 million streams, and Muse is my favourite band, so I'd heard of it before. It was actually much better the second time I listened to it. I'd listened to it before when I did this video, ranking every single Muse song, and I kind of ranked it quite low, but listening to it on the second time is really epic. I love this song now, and it gets 6th for me. It's really cool. The Globalist is an amazing song, but yet again, most people don't really have this on their list for obvious reasons. Top 5 now, we've got Coma by Guns N' Roses. This one's really weird, actually. It's like about a guy in a coma but wanting to stay in a coma, whatever. I don't really care about the meaning of any of these songs. Well, obviously I care, because some of them are probably really deep, but what I'm thinking of is literally just the music, and I really like Guns N' Roses in general. The music's great, I think, and that's why Coma is quite high up now. It's just, you know, classic Guns N' Roses, and that means that it gets quite high up. A 10-minute classic Guns N' Roses song with some, you know, amazing music, a guitar solo, everything you can ask for. It doesn't really get boring in any places, I don't think. So I think it really deserves this 5th place spot. Next, we've got another one I'd literally never heard of before researching songs for this list. We've got Funeral for a Friend / Love Lies Bleeding by Elton John, and I was actually really surprised. It doesn't sound like a lot of Elton John songs, I don't think, especially from the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road album. It's really good, which is why it's 4th. Obviously, I'd never heard of it. I don't know how many people, you know, like it, but it does have 15 million streams. So I think that it deserves a place on this list. I do really, really like this song. It surprised me actually. I wasn't expecting it to have the style that it did, but I think it was really cool. And in third place we've got Shine On You Crazy Diamond parts 1 to 5. Yeah, no, it's not actually first or second. Yeah, I do think that Shine On You Crazy Diamond is an epic song, a masterpiece of a song. I love it. It's amazing. Yeah, Shine On You Crazy Diamond is amazing. But as with any 13-minute song, well, this one and the entire song's obviously 25, it drags on, you know. Not necessarily a bad thing every time, but I would never really see myself just listening to it. It's an amazing song, but it's third because I can actually see myself just going down and listening to the first and second songs. But Shine On You Crazy Diamond is more like a one-time listen to this masterpiece kind of thing. And arguably you could say that because of how epic it is as, you know, a piece of art, it could go first, but I'm going to put it in third for the fact that I would actually go and listen to the first and second one, you know, go and listen to it regularly. Second place, we've got the best song on the Animals album. Yeah, it's Sheep, and I, again, hadn't heard of this song before doing this list. I obviously had heard of dogs, I think I'd heard of pigs, but I didn't know they had a sheep song. I might have, I don't know, I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, Sheep, it's actually really, really cool. It's completely different to the normal psychedelic sound of Pink Floyd. It's, I think, heavier, I'd say. It's not heavy music, obviously, but it's got a different style, and it's something I prefer generally. And of course, I love the psychedelic sound of the normal Pink Floyd, but this one's different and I like it a lot. So, of course, Pink Floyd has dominated this list. How many Pink Floyd songs are there? 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6 different Pink Floyd songs on this album, and there were even more, there's probably even more that I could put on that just didn't have 15 million streams. Yeah, they've got their album That Cow Atom Heart Mother, and there's a 23-minute song called Atom Heart Mother, which I haven't actually listened to, but it's only got 11 million streams, so I didn't put it on this list. Anyway, let's get to it. Yeah, Sheep's cool, I love it. It's 10 minutes, so it doesn't really drag on. It's not like a 20-minute song or anything, or 17 like Dogs. Not that it's bad to have long songs, but sometimes it drags on like that, as I said before. Sheep, I think, is an epic song. I really, really like it. As I said before, I can see myself just going and listening to it randomly, not just to see how good it is, you know? And I don't really have much else to say about it, but I love it. It's great. So, without further ado, this is the best 10-minute plus song in my opinion, and again it's one that I hadn't heard of before doing this list. That's weird, isn't it? Because I'd heard of Achilles' Last Stand, I'd heard of Child in Time, I'd heard of Voodoo Child, I'd heard of The Court of the Crimson King, but I hadn't heard of any of these ones in the top 5 really, except Shine On You Crazy Diamond. And yeah, it's Telegraph Road by the Dire Straits. It's epic. It's really calming. It's not like anything like Coma or anything like that. And it's got an epic guitar solo. Some of the nicest, most beautiful music I've heard. It's incredible and it's a masterpiece. So if you enjoyed this video, drop a like down below. If you enjoyed my content, subscribe. See you in the next video. Goodbye. And tell me your favourite song. Wait, no, from this list. Not just your favourite song. I mean, you can tell me your favourite song anyway. Yeah, bye.